Alright, so someone today approached me at school and asked if I could make a video about constructor response tomorrow, and I thought that was quite forward thinking, so I am going to. You see on your screen here, I'm trying to get my Mobi set up and it is not working well. But you see on your screen here is a question that is essentially like it's going to look like tomorrow on the test. We're looking for, it says a man's going to drive to Washington, D.C., which is located 1,200 kilometers away. He has an average driving speed of 30 meters per second. How long will it take him to drive to Phoenix? Create a displacement versus time graph for the trip. Let's address how long it'll take first. You see here it says, I mean, in essence, really, as simple as it can be is this, that this is really a speed is distance over time equation. So you can make your little triangle here. Speed, distance, time. And I just want to figure out how long will it take. So I want to know the time, which means I'm left with distance divided by speed. But there is an issue. Notice I put it in bold here. It says 1,200 kilometers away. Well, if I take 1,200 kilometers and divide it by 30 meters per second, I'm going to end up with a unit of, I guess, seconds, kilometers per meter, or something silly like that. It's just going to not make any sense. I have to have them in the same distance unit. So these are in kilometers. I need to change this to meters. Since this is in meters, I want this 12 kilometers to be meters. So I'll start with that. I've got 1,200 kilometers. I'm going to put km in the bottom, and I know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. And I will give that information tomorrow. But this leaves me with 1,200 times 1,000 is basically 1.2 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1.2 times 10 to the 6th meters. Because kilometers cancel, I'm just going to be left with meters in the top. So this is how far it is away. Well, if I want to know how long it'll take to drive, again, I'm going to take the distance divided by the speed. So now if I take 1.2 times 10 to the 6th meters and divide it by 30 meters per second, then I get my calculator out and put that in. So I've got on top of my calculator 1.2 times 10 to the 6th divided by 30 gives me, it looks like 40,000 seconds. Okay, so that's the first half, easy enough, 40,000 seconds. And now the second part, it wants me to create a displacement versus time graph. Well, I'm going to do this, since you can't really see paper, I'm going to do this on Excel real quick. So let's start with this. So really for a displacement versus, so here's my Excel graph. I've got displacements and times. I'm actually going to flip those around real quick. Time. Well, this is acting weird, so maybe this won't work. Oh, it's freezing. Hold on, I don't know if you can hear this or not. I don't know if it's, looks like it's still recording, but alright, well, this is my life. This is how slow my computer goes. So I get used to it. Alright, finally, it's working. Alright, so I'm actually going to flip this. I'm going to make just a time and displacement. Well, let's just start with the most basics. At 0 seconds, my displacement is going to be 0 meters. And again, I'm doing this in time. Time is going to be in seconds. I guess I can put that in there. That'd be nice. Seconds. And I'm going to put my displacement in meters. So right here, I've got a column of times and displacement, 0, 0. Okay, well, where should I be at 1 second? Well, if I go 30 meters per second, then I should be at 30 meters. And at 2 seconds, I should be at, well, another 30, I guess 60. Alright, there's a lot easier way to do this. At 3 seconds, I'm going to be, I can actually put this in as an equation, equals to, it's that cell right there, so I'll click it, this cell times 30. And let's say I want to make this cell equal to the one above it plus 1. I can drag that out. And you see here that I've already got some points. So really, you don't even have to do all of it. You go up to the first maybe 10 seconds and just make a graph, of this, and this is going to show you your trip. In fact, really, you could do 2 easy points would be 0, 0, and your ending point, which I guess for me it was on the other slide. I'm afraid if I go back over there it'll freeze. So I'm going off memory. I think it was 40,000 seconds. So I guess mine would be 40,000 seconds, and the displacement would be 1.2 times 10 to the 6. But again, you just make a graph. So you only have to have, really you need like 2 or 3 points for your graph. On Excel, I have this really nice ability to just insert a quick line graph. And you see it there. Okay, well, I've got 2 different sets of data, so I could adjust the data, but you get the idea. It's going to look like this. So you should get a line graph. Again, that slope should represent your, this is a displacement versus time. So that slope should represent your velocity. In this case, your slope should be 30 meters per second. But that's the general idea. Alright, this thing cut off, and I don't really know where it cut off. But anyways, you see here's my graph. It's not very good. I need to change it. I need to put a title on it. Hopefully you do that on your construct response. You add titles to your graph. This should be a displacement versus time graph. Of course, these are displacements. These are times. It actually plotted. It thinks I want to plot both these sets, but I don't have time to edit it right now. But basically, you should get a line graph though, and that slope should be the velocity, because this is the slope on a displacement versus time graph, which should be velocity, and the velocity should be 30 meters per second. So that's just generally what you want to look for. I want to see at least a couple points on your graph. I want to be able to see specific points too. Sometimes I just have people kind of draw some sort of vague line graph, and that just isn't really what I'm looking for. I want some specific points on your graph. So that's pretty much it. Just make sure you understand that you're going to have to convert some units so that you get the correct unit, and then whatever you want to graph in doesn't really matter, but you should end up with a graph that's a line, and the slope should really represent your velocity. See you tomorrow.